Today is also the celebration of Juneteenth. It's actually June 19, which was in 1865 was the news of emancipation did not reach people who were enslaved in the state of Texas until later, because the slave owners in East Texas, there was a big cotton area, did not want them to know that in fact they had gained their freedom. And I have been very moved by hearing from professors. A wonderful professor who is herself African American, was talking about what Juneteenth meant in her family growing up. It was kind of a prelude to the 4th of July. It was a chance for African Americans to talk about their freedom, because the 4th of July did not contain their freedom. And finally it did. Now that, and supposedly there was a very eloquent statement put out by the governor of Texas at that time, talking about how this would mean that now there would be equality between those who had formerly been enslaved and people who had been their owners. Now, as things turned out, Reconstruction did bring many improvements. But when, as time went on, when Rutherford B. Hayes was, there was a contested presidential election, and when Rutherford B. Hayes was elected, it had been thrown into the House of Representatives, and Hayes made a deal with the conservative Southerners saying that if they voted for him as president, he would remove the troops for Reconstruction. And so Jim Crow was ushered in. And one of the things that I'd never before realized is that our living through the civil rights struggle in the 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80 ongoing, was a kind of second emancipation, that the white supremacy was so strong that there were ways to find ways to put those people in their place, and not in keeping with what the original victory of the Civil War was supposed to be. So it's a long time, and I think it's a good sign that Juneteenth is now a holiday, and we are to learn more about what our what the depth and breadth of experience is, that we don't take it for granted, that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, but we do believe that. Let us give thanks that that slavery was ended, and that we continue to come to terms with what that means, and especially white people come to terms with what that really means. The gift that the murder of George Floyd gave to our country and to the world was an opportunity to really start thinking that through in a more profound way.